I have this great clip that I can't wait to share with everybody, but we're going to bring in Frank Turek, who crosstalk. He was with Charlie on the day. Charlie, he would go to Frank with ideas of apologetics and how to argue for the faith and contend for the faith in the public square. So, Frank, welcome to the Charlie Kirk Show with Tucker Carlson, the great Tucker Carlson, with us.
Hey, Charlie. Hey, I just want to piggyback on something Tucker just said. The only worldview that agrees with what Tucker just said is Christianity. You know, yes. In Hinduism, there's a caste system. In Islam, if you're not a Muslim, you're a second-class citizen. In the secular world, there's no way to ground these moral values and the moral worth that every individual has. The only worldview that does that is Christianity. And that was the worldview that Charlie and everybody here at this table right now wants to demonstrate is true and try and persuade young people to follow.
I love that you said that. I think that is indisputably true. I think it's provable. I mean, you know, the founding documents still exist. We know what the people who wrote them were thinking, and they were informed by a culture that is a product of Christian civilization, period. Western civilization is Christian civilization. And I'm not against other religions, by the way. I don't follow them, but I'm not mad at them. I'm just going to want to say that. I'm not. I know a lot of great people who are of different faiths, but Christianity is unique in that it's true. And it's unique in that it believes that every person is at least potentially chosen by God. Every person. And the whole New Testament is that story, by the way. And so Christians feel that deeply. The cultures that they create reflect it. And I grieve its passing, and I pray for its return to our country.
Well, ironically, Tucker, Charlie's martyrdom might be the turning point to bring it back. I don't know. Well, you do know because you're seeing what's going on at TPUSA right now.
Yes.
How many people want to start TPUSA chapters? What are we up to now, Andrew? Is it 62,000, something like that?
Yeah, it's growing by the minute, so it's probably, let's just say, approximately 65,000.
Whoa!
We had 2,000 before that. I mean, I'm seeing people online on some YouTube videos that have to do with Charlie. Some of my own YouTube videos. They're all over the world. There's people in Denmark going, you know, I was an atheist, and because of Charlie Kirk, I'm a Christian now. Australia. Same thing. London, same thing. This isn't just in America. This is happening all over the world. And so I want to commend every one of you for advancing the cause that Charlie was so near and dear to Charlie's heart in a time of mourning. It's got to be so difficult, Andrew and Blake especially, to continue on. But Charlie would want it. And that's why we're all here right now.
Well, and Frank, bless you. I know you've had to deal with the conspiracy theories and why'd you touch your hat at this time? Because, that wretched video. I mean, but bless you, brother. I just want to be a character reference for you. And Charlie loved you so much. You were always there for Charlie. And I know how much he leaned on you for apologetics and for thinking through these deep issues, around when he was on Bill Maher recently. And, you've meant so much to him, and your work at Cross-Examine. Like, you are a dear brother and a dear friend, and some of that garbage, like, I don't even pay it any heed, but I know you you were there the day that it happened. I know this has been terrible for you too, and you've had to deal with all this garbage, but, God bless you. And I'm sorry that has been something in your experience.
Thanks, brother. I mean, that actually hasn't bothered me all that much, to tell you the truth. I just think it's so colossally stupid that if somebody wanted to shoot somebody, they need a guy standing 25 feet from them to signal, hey, get him. He's the guy. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense at all. So it was just a terrible day, but we all did the best we could to try and help and save Charlie. And then once we couldn't, all we could do was take Erica's lead and your lead, Andrew, and Mikey's lead, because you were all there, to march forward and and take his legacy to new levels. And Lord willing, that's what's going to happen.
Well, Frank, you're going to be a key part of that. And, you know, I joke with Erica. I'm like, Erica, he left us all the keys. He had all the people that we needed, all the reference points, all the true allies, not the snakes, not the grifters, the true people. And you are a true man, and you have great character, and you have great heart, and you've been a great friend to Charlie and to us. So, you know,
thank you, brother. As you
wish
have
I could
to
say
me,
it 1,000 times over.
Thank you, but let's just do it whatever we can to advance this legacy now.
And that you mentioned it, Erica, and me and Tucker were just talking. We want to talk about Erica a little bit here. Do you want to hit?
I do want to hit that because you know, there've been reference. I know that a lot of stuff going on online, I've checked out. Actually, just want to say that because it's too upsetting to me. I know it's extremely upsetting for you guys since you're way more in the middle of it than I am. But obviously, you need a fair, impartial, well-explained investigation that assures everyone the rule of law lives in the United States. I think it's essential, and I hope that we get it. I think we're going to have to push for it. We should push for it. But as to what happened, again, totally fair in my view to ask sincere questions. But I think it's important to remember the big picture, which is whatever happened, it was a species of the same phenomenon, which was the fight of evil against good. And his murder was an attempt to extinguish the light, period. And it didn't work. Like that's the main thing to know. There are lots of things I want to know. And again, we have a civil system that has to go through a process in order for this government to continue, or any government. It has to be transparent and motivated by good faith, and it has to try to affect justice. That's a key, and I don't think we should blow past it. However, again, big picture, this is light versus dark, and you feel the darkness all around us. It comes in many different forms and many different guises. These are disguises, okay? But what it really is the age-old, you know, it's the Lord of the earth. It's Satan. Sorry to say that. It is. Deliver us from the evil one, I think is the actual translation in the Lord's Prayer. And the evil one is all around us, but Charlie's murder is a reminder that we are surrounded by God and God's protection and God's love. And that is so obvious. The light has not only not been extinguished, it's glowing brighter. I hate like dumb metaphors like that, except this one is totally real. And so we should, or I speak for myself, I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on the big picture while demanding a precise accounting. That is legitimate. But I'm not going to get so caught up in that stuff that I miss the true message, which is forces of darkness tried to extinguish the light, and not only did they fail, their effort was counterproductive. That is the truth.
Frank, I was just sorry. I was in sort of wrapped by what you were saying.
Sorry, I felt that. I felt it coming up. I couldn't keep it down.
It was beautiful. I was looking for somebody else to respond here quickly.
Well, let me mention something related to that. You know, our mutual friend James Lindsay had a text exchange with Charlie. In fact, he sent it to me the other night because I was speaking at a university here in North Carolina on Wednesday night about Charlie, and I related this story. And let me just read you what James sent to Charlie and what Charlie sent back. Very astute response by Charlie. James said, and this is August 24th, 2023, communism is by far the best evidence in support of Satan's existence. Charlie writes back, 100%. And then the next text he writes back, if there is a Satan, then there is a God. And James writes back, that would follow. So evil actually shows that God does exist, not that he doesn't, because there'd be no such thing as evil unless there was good, and there'd be no such thing as good unless God existed, because in any objective sense, the only way you can define good is God's nature. Otherwise, everything's a matter of opinion. You couldn't say murder was really objectively wrong unless there's a standard of objectively right that we're all obligated to obey. And what we mean by that is God's nature. And as Tucker pointed out earlier, our founders understood that. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men were created and endowed by their government. No, it doesn't say that. Endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. So if evil exists, and we all know it does, we saw it 8 days ago, then God exists.
Well, and that is honestly the way that a lot of us were convinced of the reality of God was by being forced to acknowledge the reality of evil. I can say that for myself. My wife, who's like the person who keeps our family text chain grounded in the truth, sent a verse this morning that basically said that exact thing. And there are a number of them throughout both Old and New Testaments, as you know better than I, but that say that God will use evil for his purposes and that he will reveal himself through sadness as well as joy. And that is practically true. It's not even a theoretical concept. It's a living concept for those of us who concluded just on the basis of the evidence that these were not political differences, actually. These were not political phenomenon. These were a bunch of different things. I won't get specific, but you know what I'm talking about. This is the face of evil. And that brought us to the reality of God. It's like wild. That actually happened. It happened to me.
I want to say one thing about, I want everybody to know, and I know, Blake, you've been contemplating this too, but Charlie was willing to give the very last measure of his effort in his life. He really was. And he said it multiple times. And I think the first time he said it on stage, it wasn't something that was planned. It came out of him naturally. And Erica heard it. And Erica was like, "You be careful when you say that, please." And that's really powerful. But he said it again and again. He said it on a Lance Wallnau show, I remember one time, saying like, and he was very aware of the story of Stephen. He was very well aware of the prophets, and he was very well aware that people that wanted to hurt him, and it never stopped him. And I think we need to remember that when we think about evil, and we think about, because death, where is your victory? Oh, death, where is your sting? It's the last thing that, it's like you said, they meant it for evil, but the Lord is taking it and he's turning it to good and for the saving of many lives. And I always was caught by that wording in the scriptures, the saving of many lives. Obviously he's talking about the Israelites in that instance, but as we contemplate it for our own moment, the saving of many lives. And I think about all these baptisms and all these reports of the churches being overflowing and across the country. And we didn't riot, Tucker. We didn't burn businesses. We didn't tear down windows and doors. We prayed. And that is the biggest, most amazing testament to the character of Charlie Kirk.
Well, but it's also the nature of, or it has been my experience anyway. I'm not a theologian, but I just will say that I've had many moments, especially in the last 10 years, where, boy, you can feel it around you, like for real. You can feel the menace, you can feel the hate, you can feel the threat. It comes out of nowhere. I've had a couple pretty intense experiences with it, very intense. And they are followed invariably by the peace of God, by the Holy Spirit. And you know that God is using this moment for your benefit, your edification, and your joy. That is true, that out of tragedy, and it's such a cliche, and it's such a kind of syrupy, hallmark, false assurance on the surface that I hesitate even to say it, but I've just lived it so much. I've lived it so much. That is absolutely how God has communicated with me in my life, like directly, is by contrasting his presence with the evil that you feel around you. And so it is, in a weird way, in the middle of tragedy, like a true blessing. And if you see a loved one, we all go through this as we age. I've been through it a lot recently, where someone you really, really love dies. And then you're just filled with this sense of the presence of God that's absolutely real. You're not manufacturing it. It's not like a immune response or something. It's like a presence from outside coming into you. And I think the whole country feels it, or the people who are alive to it feel it now strongly.
In fact, the greatest evil of all time, the sacrifice of Jesus, has led to the greatest good.
Yes.
Without the sacrifice of Jesus, we'd all be dead in our sins. But Christ was sacrificed so that our punishment could be put on him. And when we trust in him, we're not only forgiven, but we're given his righteousness. There's a misunderstanding among some. They think in order to get to heaven, I got to be good. No. There's nobody good enough. Jesus said there's nobody good but one, and that was him. In order to get to heaven, you need to take his sacrifice and apply it to yourself. You need to take the punishment that went on him, and you trust in him to get that forgiveness because your punishment was put on him. And then by trusting in him, you're not only forgiven, you're given his righteousness. So good works are a result of Christianity. They're not the cause of Christianity. The cause of Christianity in someone's life is to trust in what Christ has done. And out of love for what Christ has done, then you'll do good works.
Well,
by the way, I'm really struck by a quote from Peter Kreeft, who said this about what evil can do in our lives to help us become more like Christ. He said this, he said, the point of our lives is not comfort, security, or even happiness, but training. Not fulfillment, but preparation. This world is a lousy home, but it's a fine gymnasium.
Well, Frank, I just want to say again, I know you've got to catch a flight here, so God bless you, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being such a rock in Charlie's life. I'll say it, you don't have to give them any heed. I'm sorry about the conspiracy theories specifically around you and some of my other friends that were around the table. They are utter garbage, and we stand by you 100%, my friend. And just thank you for being just an amazing guy, and you meant so much to Charlie, and we'll see you in a few days.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, Tucker. Thank you, Blake.
Thanks, Frank.
God bless you guys.
Thank you.